Math Man!
Hello everyone, this is Math Man, and this is Math Man's Algebra Academy, Chapter 1, Lesson 6, Literal Equations. Let's get started. So with literal equations, they're literally easy. And I say this not tongue-in-cheek, I really mean that they are literally easy. What you're going to do is you're going to use the properties that we learned from earlier lessons for solving multi-step equations. Then you're going to use the inverse operation to move the variables around. And you're going to solve for the variable that you want. It's literally that simple. Here we go. Let's take example number 1 here. Solve for x. We have this weird equation, this x plus y equals z. There's not even any numbers in here. How are we supposed to solve this? We're not. That's the great part. All you have to do is just move those variables around until you get what you want. So at the end, we should end up with, since we're looking for x equals something. So we're just manipulating the formula to get what we want, which makes this really easy because we can just subtract y from both sides. So we subtract y from both sides, and it leaves us with x equals z minus y. And guess what? That's the answer. That's why this is so great. It's so simple. Let's look at example number 2. We're solving for c. Now this one's going to make a little bit more work, but it's going to be okay. Again, there's a number there, but we still can't solve this because there's 3 variables. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to subtract d from both sides because we have to use all of our properties we know, and we need to get that d on the other side. So we're going to subtract d from both sides, and then we're going to have 3c equals b minus d. Now, we still got to get that 3 away from the c. Right now it's being connected by multiplication, so we divide by 3 on both sides, which eliminates that 3 because 3 divided by 3 is 1. So it's just c equals b minus d divided by 3, because that whole sum over there has to be, or the whole difference I should say, has to be divided by 3. And that's your answer. We don't have to go any farther than that. This is great. Isn't this fun? Number 3, solve for k. Oh, now this one looks a little weird. At first glance you're going, oh wait, I have to distribute that. The j has to multiply by the k and the l. But guess what? We're not trying to solve this. We just need to get k equal to something. So we're going to divide both sides by j, because that gets rid of that j altogether. We don't even have to worry about that. So what we have to look at now is k plus l equals m over j. Not bad. Still kind of ugly. So we're going to subtract l from both sides, because that's going to give me our k by itself. Now watch what happens. We have k equal to m divided by j minus l. It looks ugly, but it works. We have k equals something. Let's move on to the last example. Alright, so example 4, this is the last one. We're going to solve for z. Now it gave it this weird fraction, x minus z over y equals to 3. We've got to get rid of that y because we can't do anything else until we get rid of it. So since it's being divided, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to multiply by y on both sides. That gets rid of the y in the denominator, and we're left with x minus z equals 3y. Now we have to get rid of the x because we're trying to solve for z. So we subtract x on both sides, and that gets rid of the x on the left side, and we're left with a weird little negative z equals 3y minus x. The problem is we need positive z, not negative z. Now if you remember, there's always a invisible 1 in front of a variable. Like you can always say 1 times something, we don't have to write it all the time. But since it says a negative z, that's really a negative 1z. So we have to divide by negative 1 on both sides. And it's really going to change the signs of everything. So what we end up with is z equals negative 3y plus x. And that's our answer.
All right, students, that's really it. Like I said, literal equations can be literally easy. So just keep going until you get that variable by itself, and you're good to go. So until next time, keep the math mathing.